In Counter-Strike, as in everything, the thing that makes perfect is practice.
What are we talking about? Practice?
That's right. Practice. The question, of course, is in an esport as mechanically and strategically sophisticated as CSGO, and with countless custom community-made game modes to choose from, what aspect of your game should you spend your time improving? Maybe you're a movement maestro and want to land crisp, clean hops that would make the almighty Foon himself, well, swoon.
Tremendous, job of doing so. Drop step, trying to find dudes on the ladder. Oh, has he done that? A man not known for mechanics has evaded one of the world's best. Nico gets absolutely destroyed.
It could also be that you're like me and spend every waking second banging out retakes just so that every once in a while you can really tell a kid to sit the f down. Or maybe you're just super into surfing and want to just, well, vibe. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Surfing doesn't actually teach you anything about Counter-Strike, it's just really fun. But there is one certifiable sheesh factory for whom none of these extracurricular activities are essential. And while every player does have their quirks, it just so happens that this one is, well, right now, the reigning world #1. Meet Mathieu ZywOo Herbaut, a shy, rosy-faced wonderkid who, having been born on the very day of Counter-Strike's first ever retail release, has long been heralded as not only the savior of French CS, but the game's so-called chosen one.
Continuing to try and find more ground, continuing to try and find kills from in the flames! You can burn the man alive, but he's burnt the round to a crisp! As ZywOo has to shine through in a 1-on-2. He's got the first, he's got the second! ZywOo's a god! He is above anything Ashes can create!
But aside from his destined birth date and innate ability to own people, there is one thing about ZywOo that really sets him apart. You see, while most phenoms spend countless hours sharpening their skills in Deathmatch or Aim Lab, ZywOo doesn't engage in anything outside of Counter-Strike proper that encompasses practicing per se. He just plays the game all the time. And the weird thing is that the more you examine his inhuman playstyle, the more it kind of shows.
Electronic, looking for the cleanest finish. She's been turned on. ZywOo, no health really, but he's still hitting shots. He's already got 3 and 4 and 5 and oh my god, ZywOo!
Okay, so before we dive into things, please do your boy Dimitri a favor and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you never miss a future episode of Offbeat. They really want me to chill out about that last part. Okay, so if you're into esports and have no idea who ZywOo is, you need to get your f***ing head out of your ass. Absurdly hyped up-and-comer turned explosive rookie turned 2-time topper of HLTV's annual player rankings, it is pretty much impossible to overstate just how unprecedented and downright meteoric ZywOo's rise to the pinnacle of CSGO really was.
But there's Twist poking his head out in the toilet. ZywOo trades another clutch, maybe. ZywOo on the site, cold, hiding behind the truck, and now ZywOo dancing left and right. He's got to pick his shot wisely. He's only got one chance.
Oh my goodness!
But we're not here to talk about ZywOo's whole story beginning to end. If that's what you want, then you should totally check out our story of ZywOo. What we are here to talk about is the fact that for the reigning #1 best CSGO player in the world, he's got kind of a peculiar practice regimen. You see, about 7 months ago, ZywOo did an interview with Zach Nani where he was asked about his training routine, since presumably everyone wanted to know the secret behind his monumental success. Needless to say, the answer that he gave came as a bit of a surprise.
Je suis pas quelqu'un qui fait de la aimbot, qui fait du DM, qui fait tout ce genre d'entraînement. En fait, moi, L'entraînement, en fait, je l'ai fait en Faceit. Tu vois, c'est un site où...
Je connais, t'inquiète.
Et en fait, j'ai surtout fait ça en Faceit. J'ai que Faceit. Genre, je me réveillais, il n'y avait pas de DM, il n'y avait pas de bot, il y avait pas... J'avais un œil entrouvert, hop, je lançais Faceit, quoi. C'était mon entraînement, en fait.
Vraiment?
Ouais, franchement, je lançais un match, quoi, pour m'entraîner. Pour me lancer dans la journée, je lançais un match pour me dire, bon, allez, aujourd'hui, c'est le petit match d'entraînement, on se lance. Et après, en fait,
Et toi, tu faisais des pick-up, des trucs,
ouais,
toi, tu t'en foutais?
C'était ça, en fait. C'était mon entraînement. C'était les matchs, quoi, en fait.
Now, if you're not intimately familiar with tactical shooters such as Counter-Strike, Valorant, hell, even Siege, this might not seem all that weird to you. But let me assure you, it is pretty out of the ordinary, especially at ZywOo's level of play. The vast majority of first-person shooter competitors, whether seasoned or aspiring, spend countless hours perfecting their mechanics in things like aim trainers, deathmatch servers, and bot maps. Their reasoning being that the best way to perform in an official is to grind incessantly outside of one.
I was a die-hard deathmatch guy back in the days. I put in like, 4-hour sessions at least per day for a couple of years. And I think it's a necessary tool for a player to use, you know?
But then you have ZywOo.
Ah, je suis mort parce que tu sais, il y a des personnes qui sont là, 1 heure d'échauffement.
Moi, à chaque fois, je les regarde, je fais ok, bah, ça marche aussi, hein, tu vois, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de joueurs, ok. Mais dans ma tête, je fais j'ai jamais fait ça en fait. J'ai jamais DM. En LAN, quand je commence un match, quand t'as pas le temps de faire un match, tu fais 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Mais quand je bossais vraiment, quand je jouais vraiment comme un ouf, c'était que du Faceit, que du Faceit.
You see, for a very long time, the accepted wisdom has been that you pretty much have to deathmatch in order to get good at CSGO. In fact, there's a long history of scrubs sitting in lower tons, holding angles with a Mag 7, wondering why going 50 and 10 isn't making them good.
Yeah, man.
Your fucking nan's in a hole, okay?
The reason, of course, is that deathmatch is, at its core, kind of a fiction. Don't believe me? Just ask DDK.
Matchmaking or competitive Counter-Strike is not deathmatch. They are two separate things in terms of what they require from you.
Now, that's not to say that deathmatch servers aren't a useful tool. They are. In truth, there's pretty much no better place to start mastering things like movement, spray patterns, pistol play, and of course, one-taps.
Deathmatch is a great way to jump in a server against like human targets and like just mess around and practice shooting without feeling the need to get the kill. You could practice a style and be like, it doesn't matter if I kill him or not, because there's no consequence.
The important thing to remember, however, is that the tool that is deathmatch is just that. A tool. It doesn't matter how cracked you are in these headshot-only hangouts where the stakes are low, smokes don't matter, and the only thing you have to worry about is getting spawn-killed by silvers. Deathmatch isn't Counter-Strike, and pretending it is won't get you anywhere.
Playing good Counter-Strike is about creating as many advantageous fights as possible. You never want to be in a position to make a lot of flashy shots.
What ZywOo did was validate that mindset like never before. See, unlike the vast majority of Counter-Strike's sickest crack shots, ZywOo isn't especially known for his aim. Don't get me wrong, he does have great aim and can flick with the best of them. He's just not one of these literal f***ing aim bots whose PC needs to be checked every 5 minutes.
Oh, here we go.
For the job.
God, I'm not... Oh! What? Oh, that's the badger.
What ZywOo is known for is his otherworldly game sense. He isn't just an intelligent player, he is the perfect player. This kid doesn't just suss out your location, he frickin' divines it. It's as if his actual mind has wall hacks. As if he knows where and when you're going to be before you do.
ZywOo, a lot of the time I see him, especially in high pressure situations, I see him, he's got obviously a lot of flick, but I do see him sometimes sort of reading the game at what looks to me like a slightly deeper level.
But it has to be the 1v4 clutch from ZywOo. Need comes in, barely enough health to survive here on Brawler, but ZywOo wants to kill. There's the headshot, pulls it back, there's the open, ZywOo's got the triple. Crims is the last man standing, and there's time for the defuse. ZywOo wants to smoke the bomb. If you're Chris, you have to be scared, and ZywOo wins it.
It's just remarkable that his brain just works in that way, and I think a lot of people's brain also works like that, but they're not fully using it the whole way. It's just like he's just seeing, you know, every prediction beforehand.
The best part is that because of this, ZywOo isn't really all that flashy of a player. Like, he's surgical, but not much of a showboat, which might have to do with how, let's say, reserved he is outside of the server.
ZywOo, what is it like being in front of this amazing crowd?
I don't know.
ZywOo, what do you think of Shazam just said? Trolling with Zeus's.
I don't know.
You don't know again? ZywOo, have you got anything to add?
No.
Nothing, okay.
Needless to say, the kid is a bit of an anomaly. As one caster so elegantly put it, he just walks around and hits shots.
Well, they're anticipating banana from the looks of it. Got four over here. It's going to be ZywOo that rings out first.
No way.
Second.
He's had enough.
He's going to keep going through it. He doesn't really care, does he?
There's four here again. He wants the ball. Get him out of here.
He's the closer. Into his own hand is ZywOo.
ZywOo's freakishness even gave way to a now infamous esports-wide copy pasta. Which, I mean, let's be honest, really captured the susness of his intuitions. Cause, like, ZywOo's skilled player, but that is not normally. This very, very insane. They need to check him PC and game. Maybe he not cheating, but maybe he using the game deficit, and this can't seem on game screen. He needs to check up.
ZywOo, a man of few words. What have you got to say about winning this game?
No.
Anyway, memes aside, how is it that ZywOo is able to do what he does? Well, for starters, there is clearly some sense in which he was just born with it. You cannot be that young and that competitively inexperienced and just saunter your way to 2 back-to-back HLTV #1s unless some divine being blessed you with the business end of an op.
I was one of the first guys thinking that he was cheating, like because I used to play him back in the lower tier of RC. And it's not until you actually play with him and speak to him that you understand that the guy just doesn't see things the same way as we do. I could like imagine in his brain it's just like the Matrix, so you got numbers coming down like, okay, he was here at one point, so he could be here, 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 and then he just checks those 2 angles and he's in one of them and he kills it. That's how it feels like.
But even if you are the Mozart of Counter-Strike and were fated to coast your way into the highest level of play, you still need to put in countless hours if you have any intention of staying. Like all aspiring competitors, ZywOo spends an insane amount of time practicing his craft. But what separates him from the fray, it seems, is that he efficiently invests those hours where they matter most.
Genre, je me dis que faut que je fasse le taf que je dois faire comme dame en fait.
Qu'on t'a assigné.
Ce que je fais en entraînement tout le temps, ce que je fais tout le temps en fait. Genre, il faut juste que je le remette pendant les tournois, pendant... Mais non, il n'y a pas plus que ça en fait. Genre, pas plus que ça.
Thanks in part to his pug-centric upbringing and practice regime, ZywOo has both pioneered and popularized a playstyle in which game sense is prioritized over gun skill. Because at the end of the day, you can deathmatch to your heart's content, but it won't teach you how to use utility, how to communicate, how to clutch, how to overcome ladder anxiety. Those are the things that'll make for a truly excellent Counter-Strike player. And isn't that kind of the point?
ZywOo peeking up middle simultaneously, Shox comes in. He was the best performing player on Nuke. And a pretty rough bunch if we're being honest. Then Glaive's got a 4th. He could be on for the ace, but ZywOo takes it away from him. 30 seconds, low HP, has the bomb, but no idea as to where the remaining CTs are. Flicking up into the header device. He has enough time to feasibly clutch this. He'll be playing this one a little bit more passively, a little bit more patiently. Hell, just give this fight away to ZywOo. Wait for the cavalry to arrive. Make sure you double peek him. Simultaneously, ZywOo so nearly lands the no-scope, but on 1 HP, he's still alive. He's still here. He's still kicking. And you cannot disrespect this man because he will punish you. Storm ZywOo comes in and leaves nothing but carnage in his wake. That's outrageous.
I have a couple of nice one-taps in the footage I sent you. You can pop one in there. Oh, you're so bad. No, I think the viewers might want to see. a little crispy one-tap action.
You're trash. You're trash. Literally f***ing dog shit.